Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Virginia Githiri. This is the Moments of Introspection show. And I have well, it depends on where you're listening. If you're listening to it on the podcast players, then it's the podcast. But I have my sister on today with me. I'm so excited. My sister, Maria Githiri. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hello. Hey, girl. Hey, y'all.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Doing well, and thanks for having me, sis.
Of course, anytime. What was the most exciting thing that you did this past weekend?
This weekend. So I do sing in my church choir, and we just the first weekend of the month. So we have 4 services. So Saturday and Sunday, a few hours there. So that was, it's always fun. I have friends there. So I'd say that was cool. And then afterwards, Sunday, I just kind of chilled out, was on the couch. I think I started watching Jurassic Park on Peacock. So it was a good weekend.
Now, how many times have you watched Jurassic Park?
So they had the new one out, World Dominion.
Oh,
which I hadn't seen. It came out this year. So, and honestly, I can't. So the one, I think the first one was good. The second and third, but then the Jurassic World, that one, I think I might have seen like 5 times. I think it came out on my birthday, and I thought it was great. Wow. And then they did Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which was pretty cool.
Okay.
I maybe saw it once or twice. And then, so this one just came out this year. So this one was kind of neat because they brought back people from like the first one. And it kind of and again, I was kind of in and out paying attention, and I still haven't finished it, but it was decent. It put me in the mind of how they did Coming to America, where there were so many references from the second one, how they brought, so many things from the first. This is what they did with this Jurassic World, because they pulled in people that were only in the first one. They're back in this, and people from all of, So it was neat. But like I said, I was just I think these days my media intake is not super, super high. So I wasn't focused.
That's okay. That's all right.
What I paid attention to was all right. So that was a weekend. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. So I don't even remember details from the first Jurassic Park. And I would anticipate I haven't seen any others. I probably have. I just don't remember. I don't usually remember anything from movies at all, which is very odd. Who knows? Anyway, but that's great. Sounds like a good weekend. How many services did you sing?
4.
Did your choir sing?
One on Saturday at 5:45, and then Sunday 8, 10, and 12. And
What?
Our call times are usually like 2 hours before anything starts. So we're there like before 6 on Sundays and like about 3-ish on Saturday. Yeah. So but so thankfully it's only once a month.
Okay.
That softens the blow.
And I want to tell y'all, my sister also plays the piano at rehearsal, I think, don't you?
Yes. Yep, I do. Because our current directors none of them play. So because I know how, I volunteered to assist. So yes.
That's pretty common. It's not uncommon for directors to be non-pianist or musicians.
And then too, another thing is that the band, like literally the church, it's like any mega church or maybe just any church, but like the band literally is not there for the weekly rehearsals. So, which is another thing. I mean, maybe in smaller churches, if you have an organist, they come to rehearsal. Like us growing up, the organist, would just be you had somebody at rehearsal that played, but here they just schedule people on the weekends, or they have staff that play on the weekends. So literally they get our song, and like the Thursday before we do a run through with the band, and that's the only time and the first time. So at rehearsals.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but So that's something else I do.
Okay. Listen, y'all, if you know anything about being saved, my sister good and saved. All that church she goes to once a month. We praise the Lord for her service. No, but she's a very talented musician, and I appreciate that. My sister's awesome. She wasn't a jazz man for years. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. So she plays lots of other instruments and sings a little Sade.
There's that.
So she's a very talented musician. So, my weekend, I was participated in a wonderful local conference called Be Golden here in Bloomington, Indiana. And I've actually participated since the inception in 2017. So I've been fortunate to be a part in some type of way. And also my PopKorn company, in the first year or two, I think we helped to sponsor and provide some snacks and things. So it's a great women's empowerment conference, women coming together from different parts of the country, lots of local Bloomington, Indiana women. And the organizers are just really, they love community. They love all things women's empowerment. So it's great to be a part of that. And so that was Friday and Saturday. And listen, I was wore out. So I sing on my worship team at my church as well in Bloomington, Indiana. And when I sing 3 services, but I was not on the schedule this weekend. So listen, Sunday, I had bedside service. I was wore out, y'all. So I rested. Sometimes I heard somebody say, sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is rest. And sometimes we need rest. You know, that may seem controversial to some, especially people who are used to maybe having maybe an almost unconscious regularity of doing something like going to your Sunday service. And if that's you, that's fine. But, you know, I think sometimes you need to respond to what your body is telling you. And so I took Sunday to rest and it was beautiful. I got more sleep than I typically am able to on a weekend. And it was fantastic. So feeling great and refreshed. So awesome. What I wanted to bring my sister on for is I just love my sister, but also since
I love you too.
I am. Oh, thanks. Where's the heart? Okay, maybe not. Oh, that's it. What is it? I don't know.
Yeah, this is a struggle.
Yep, it is. Well, next time. But I'm talking about, you know, at the start of the fall, focus, the importance of focus. And I think about oftentimes we compare ourselves to other people or we think about other people's experience. And my sister's definitely always been, there's 3 of us. So my brother is the youngest and he's really brilliant. He's in finance. He's an accountant, very brilliant person. My sister is an engineer and has areas of expertise in chemical engineering and computer programming. And she's a real estate person and, you know, musician and really brilliant. And I do all sorts of things all over the map. But interestingly, I would say even growing up, my sister was the one probably who I would say was able to focus a little more, or maybe she seemed a little more calm. Who knows? Maybe she was screaming in the inside. You never know. She might have been screaming in the inside, but lost an earbud. Hold on, friends. Yeah, growing up, my sister might have been screaming in the inside. We never know. You know, maybe she'll tell us one day. But she definitely appeared on the front, on the surface, very calm, a lot more calm than my brother and I. Certainly, even though my brother's the youngest, people would probably say I'm the most intense, dramatic, or hyper. Still the same. It's fine. But I just wanted to kind of talk about or reminisce a little bit about our levels of focus growing up. So, like I said, I am the oldest. My sister's a couple years younger than I am. And then Joel, my brother, I think I've got 7 years on him. But what would you say, Wanjuru is her middle name. So we're going to call her Wanjuru and mine is Tati. What would you say was your, how do you remember being focused on things as a little girl? Can you remember anything?
You know, honestly, a lot of it may be personality, but I think I think was focused on like achievement / mastery. Cause even like thinking about piano lessons, thinking about like grades in school, like just, and I think because I like systems and repetitiveness and consistency. So it's like, okay, so I'm in the, and 2, like knowing that, you know, we're taking, like having piano lessons and like, you know, we get this set, like work on these 3 songs or this exercise for the next week when the teacher comes. So for me, it's like, I'm, you know, driven to do this and to make sure that it's done and it's correct. Like, I think, that like drives me. Like, so maybe that's why I was able to be focused, you know, just between piano and between grades. It's like, okay, well, this is the, the target that you're going to reach. And just for me,
that makes sense.
Yep. It's like like my, I don't know, driver focus is to do it. The word perfect keeps coming to mind, but as a child and maybe type A, I don't know, perfectionist type. So I think that, I think that's something partly personality, but.
I would say for sure. Now, did you listen to the other podcast on Drew?
Yeah, I know.
Perfection doesn't exist.
That's why I didn't want to say perfection. You trying to come from me, sis?
Yep, I'm judging you.
But see,
in a loving way.
So disclaimer, and because perfection was in my head, but I was like, I don't want to say it.
You
that that honestly was me. Like now, it's not a thing, but definitely as being younger, as I've gotten older, it's just like. Yeah, like perfect doesn't exist. I mean, and literally in software engineering, my profession, they say like done is better than perfect, because literally like it's known in software engineering that you go out with like 80% complete or 80% done and like 20%. But I mean, it's like, if you're waiting till 100%, you'll never release any software.
Is that why the apps be jacking up? Now I'm mad.
Possibly.
My sister has given us industry secrets.
This is true. Like literally, I mean.
But that's a good point.
Yep. Because if you wait, and like we were talking about earlier, like some bugs, if they're like edge cases or like, this is something a user could do, but out of our 5,000 users, maybe 20 will do it. Let's push the app out and let's let that be a fast follow. That's the thing, because if you're trying to address every minuscule issue that could happen, you'll never release any software. And so again,
that.
Yeah, it was like the 80-20 rule. Like when it's, 80% of the way there, push the button.
Okay. Push the button.
Yep.
You hear what she said, y'all?
A reference from Rush Hour, I think, but yep.
And Color Purple, the updated Color Purple on Broadway. Push the button. They got a song called Push the Button.
Okay. I need to see that.
Yeah. Push the button, y'all. So, okay. So would you say then that because you even have that standard in your current career today, that your level of focus has decreased, or there's just focus on checking off the boxes as opposed to maybe creating something that is a masterpiece? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think like is quality impacted based on that kind of mindset, or that
yeah.
Honestly, I would say, I was gonna say yes and no, but I would kind of say I want to say no, because I will say that I think there's a balance, to throw that word out there, like you do. I mean, obviously I don't want to, especially for the main things like stuff, I don't want stuff to be crappy and my name's on it. So that keeps me, it's like, okay, like if I'm working on this piece of it to the best of my ability, it's going to be done well. I'm going to catch everything that I can think of to catch. Yeah, because I just don't want, I don't want the testers to get it and then find all these bugs. It's because I feel like, and again, stuff can't be taken personally, because we're human. And a lot of times it's what they call, we test the happy path. You build something, you test the happy path. Like this is in theory the path where it's going to work. So a lot of times the testers will hit other things. But I just the way I am, I don't want to put my name on anything that is crappy. So I think I'm still, driven to do well and go over and above for what I'm responsible for. And then with that same token, you have to, at the end of the day, like I said, we're human, so stuff will slip through, it just will. But I, make sure it's not intentional. And then just recognize that, you do your best and leave it at that. Cause even like we're, awaiting kind of a larger project for something I've worked on with this iPhone app that we now support. And I literally implemented biometrics, Face ID, Touch ID. So it's been done about a month. We're just been behind, but it's supposed to actually be released this Thursday. So, I'm excited, ready for our clients to start using it. But it's like you have to know that you've done your best. Expect the best. Yeah. So I think I'm still driven to give good quality, but then, it's known as a programmer. Things happen, you just don't catch things, but I think you can stress yourself out if you're expecting this needs to be like 100%. You can stress yourself out. So I think just finding that good balance where it's like, okay, well, shoot, it's not going to be 100%. So why even try versus, oh my gosh, like everything has to be, perfect. All the I's, T's. Yeah. Like I can't miss anything. So I think those extremes are not good. So I think finding a good place and delivering quality work with the understanding that there are some, little things that'll get through the cracks. And then too, so like I said, with the 80-20 rule, some things that we just decide, well, this is not important enough to delay the project. So we know it's like a known bug. Okay. But it's not, So that's a long answer, but.
So what about when she also did chemical engineering, y'all. I think that's her primary degree. So
yes.
When you were doing that, you were younger. So were your thoughts different about like how long you had to focus and what constituted something being excellent comparative to just getting it done? Is it a different mindset?
And that honestly seems like, so I literally was a chemical engineer in profession in 99, I think July 99 through June of 2000.
Okay.
So about a year. So I don't even know if I was long enough to really answer that question. It literally was a year. And then I used my degree for like a year. And then,
okay.
But in that time, I mean, obviously it was new. Like they started. Yeah. I don't even know if I got into a lot of deep stuff. Like at one point I was doing like a rotation. So I spent some time in the control room because I worked.
Is that when you were in the EPA?
Oh, so that was an internship I did while I was in college.
Okay.
Yeah. And honestly, the stuff I did, I almost forgot about the EPA.
That's okay.
I'm like that.
I might not remember Jurassic Park, but I remember that.
I do too. Gosh. But even here at the cement plant, like I did a rotation. I was out in the field with the guys, climbing silos. That was kind of fun to be outside. Working with men like that is different when you're 22 years old. It was that. That's part of the reason I was just like, this is not the life for me. But I'm out here and a hard hat, steel toe boots and safety goggles and, still getting hit on. And I was just like, okay. And then, I was new here. I knew one person that lived like an hour away here. She was also from my college and she worked at Texas Instruments, but she was with a lot of young professionals and I really wasn't.
Oh, okay.
So just being young and just trying to, establish myself and, but yeah, at any rate, I did rotations. I was in the field. I was in the control room. And then I think I did something else, but yeah, honestly, I can't remember enough to judge that. Cause I think I was such a short time, but yeah. And even like my internships, I was at Merck also. I went to New Jersey.
I remember.
Yep. So I guess I did, in addition to working as a professional chemical engineer, I had, EPA, Merck. But so I probably did. Yeah. I can't say that I remember details to be able to answer that. So
that's all right. No problem.
Sorry, sis.
No, it's all right. It's okay. No problem. So I would say I'm very different than that. I think I am a stickler on wanting things to be a certain way, the things that I really care about, which I would say most of us are, but it definitely is probably not related to being able to focus because that is typically not my strong suit. It is not. I remember even as a child, I would leave my kindergarten classroom. Our mother was a third grade teacher in the same class, in the same school where we went to elementary for a few years. And I remember leaving my kindergarten classroom and running to her class. Part of it was because I'm a performer. I've been probably a performer just like naturally all my life, very dramatic as I'm told I am, and it's fine. But I would literally leave my classroom and run out of there to go ask my mom questions just to get attention, just to, I love to make people laugh and the kids would laugh. So, and I remember mommy telling me that the teacher said that I was really smart, but I just was hyper and not focused. So, and I would say probably if my parents maybe were different parents, if our parents were different parents, and maybe it was a different time, like the 2000s or the 90s as opposed to the 70s, I would be one of those kids who likely would have needed some type of assistance with the pharmaceutical or medication because to calm me down. But I remember after kindergarten, they put me into, they basically held me back after kindergarten before first grade and put me into a program called Reading Readiness, where we did computers and we did all sorts of other activities to keep us stimulated. And so at my age, past 45 now, I am constantly finding myself doing all these different things at one time. So I have to talk to myself to be able to focus on one thing often to get stuff done. So when we took piano lessons, oh my God, I hated practicing. Now I can play. I prefer to play classical music, and sometimes I'll sit down at my piano and just start playing something. But I literally I hated practicing. I didn't care. My sister always got more stickers than me because she always practiced. Probably the books, I had no stickers. Our piano teacher came to our house. We had private lessons for years. God bless my parents. And my sister would always practice. So she always had stickers. I never got stickers because I always knew the same song because I was like, ugh, just not that interested in practicing. And I just think it's because I was not focused. Part of it was probably I wasn't really interested, but I also just had a struggle sitting there and, doing what I did. So I think also that probably speaks to our career path. When I become bored, it is incredibly difficult for me to want to just stay there. I'm like, nope, bored, not focused, time to go. I mean, it takes a lot. Now, I will say being an academic, because I do have latitude over how I create my courses and things like that, that helps to keep the interest level. But if I'm being honest, I, even in this space, can't see myself there for the next 20 years. I mean, that's just, some people are career people in whatever they're doing. I was not created that way. It's just not who I am. And I'm okay with that. So, I think honor who you are. But yeah, like what were you going to say?
Oh, yeah, I did have a couple thoughts. Well, one, I was going to ask you if the piano, did that translate to the trombone too? Is that something you were interested in?
I was terrible at that thing. Mr. Schmidt, if you're listening, yes, no, I did not practice. Anybody that was in band with me, I was terrible. I was horrible. God bless my parents. Bless them.
And we had to do that.
I was terrible.
That Christmas selection, me, you, and Joel.
Listen, guys, my mom. So our parents are deceased, but my mother, the church she was going to, she had did she organize the Christmas play or the Christmas?
I believe so. Yeah.
Christmas program or something.
Yeah,
we
Christmas
were in
program,
college. Yeah. My sister and I were in college. So she said, girls, please, I want you to play your instruments. Listen, that was horrible. Now, of course, you want to do what you can to honor your mother. My brother, Joel, our brother was so angry because we kept laughing during the practice. Listen.
Yes.
I mean, I ain't played this thing in a gazillion years. I was horrible when I was in the band. I was drum major. I made drum major the summer of my freshman year because I talk loud and I can conduct because I directed the choir at my church. So, that worked out fine. But in terms of the trombone, no bueno. So we were sitting in our house. I think we were practicing in our living room. We couldn't stop laughing because we were terrible.
I don't even know what we played. That was just so...
It was horrible. And when you're in church now, some of you all may be from African-American church tradition where people say, let him use you. It's all right. Well, we wasn't being used at all.
That part.
Listen. We were horrible. And when we got to the church to actually do the performance, it made us crack up. What made me crack up when people were saying, let him use you. That made me laugh so hard. Oh my God. Crazy.
Yep, no, girl. And then, and I did have a second thought. So,
okay.
I think too, and this, so again, personality wise, so when you were talking about like the piano and stuff, like me, I think part of that for me is I'm super, super competitive.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So, like I be like, yeah, it's not a competition, but I'm going to win. Like, so I think that drives me because I'm like, oh, I'm getting a sticker. Cause I love to take tests. I'd love to take tests.
Oh,
where, test taking anxiety is a thing. I'd be like, I'm about to get the highest score I can get. So I don't know if that's focused, but literally that'd be my thing. Like, oh, it's something to accomplish.
Wow.
Sign me up. Yeah. Like literally, like all the stick. And I have the hymnal. I want to go get it, but literally, or I want to get it. But, yeah. Like our piano teacher would write down the songs we played. And I think she had your initials on one side and mine on the other.
Yep.
And mine is like this long list. But
yep,
anyway,
and I got 0.
You might have 1 or 2. But
that's what I'm saying, y'all.
I can see it now because again, I think the competitor in me is what be driving me. That's why I tend to do well. Yeah, when there's like a goal, when there's something for me to gain or achieve. If it's a sticker, if it's a grade. Like even a piano, if it's like, oh, this is your assignment for the week, like I'm about to master this and play it flawlessly. So
I guess that's a good thing about focus. Maybe one of the keys is you've got to find something that you really enjoy or that you really, really want.
Yes.
Because if you don't truly want it, your focus is going to be wavered